You can't be serious, man. You cannot be serious!
Now, we're not sure if the doc is going to ring in, but we're going to start this. And if he rings in, of course, we're ready to take his call because he's a very important part of this. We've become very successful because mainly the greatest broadcaster in the known world and all other places comes on and does a little cameo appearance every fortnight. Usually I check to see if he's going to come on, but he says no, there's no need to check every fortnight unless I tell you I'll be ringing in. So we'll just see how accurate that statement is. But in the meantime, there's a couple of things that we've missed on. Now I notice, I'm just going to get this up on the phone. I notice that I notice this is the push. This is what's happening. This is what's happening. Where are we? Sorry about this.
Now, you don't think Ben's got further commitments, do you?
Hey?
He might have something else on at this time. Because I notice someone else isn't here, so he might be doing private sessions.
Well, I don't know, but I'm trying to find this on the phone, which is not going well. Gee whiz. Well, I noticed that the golf courses. Now I had this on my phone, but I don't know where it's gone.
Now, were you going to talk about the
Go
Oakley?
on. Yeah,
the Oakley?
I wasn't going to talk about Oakley, but there's a push now for public spaces and golf courses to be turned into recreational areas at the expense of people who want to play recreational golf. This is another push. I don't know what it's for, to appease someone's social eliteness. I don't know what they're doing. There's more people play golf and enjoy it, and it's a bit of exercise rather than
sitting at home watching the midday movie.
Making redundant. I can't find where it is, but they should be. This is you get the councils that you elect. If you elect those people to run those sort of things, well,
they closed down Royal Elsternwick Golf Club.
Yeah, they're trying to close them all down. I also noticed that they wanted to redevelop. Have a listen to this. They want to redevelop the waterfront outside Marvel Stadium. And that would be a great idea. It cost for $225 billion. Who would be paying for that, do you reckon?
No.
Just
billion?
No, it can't be. 225 million.
A million?
Yeah,
million. 225 million. Who would be paying for that? You. Through your taxes. So that's out to be great outside Marvel Stadium. What would they be doing there? Just making it into a nice precinct so that when people go to the football, it'll be good. Did you hear Nick Kyrgios? Nick Kyrgios was interviewed on a podcast by Mike Tyson. Ooh. And he was, I like Nick Kyrgios, I like his spirit, I like him, but I mean, seriously, someone should tell him someone should coach him a bit on how to...
speak?
It's not speak, but stop speaking crap. He said that Mike Tyson said to him, he said you were you sort of embarrassed young Prince William. Remember he's in at the test? And Nick said, I was swearing my nuts off. And I looked over and Prince William or whatever, the young boy was looking a bit, seriously swearing your nuts off. Could he say, yes, I had a bit strong in the invective, a bit strong in some of the words I said, swearing my nuts off.
Well, not everyone went to school.
No, what, swearing your nuts off, would you say that? Just as if it's a badge of honour to swear your nuts off.
Well, your idol, McEnroe, that's what he would do, wouldn't he?
Yes, but he did do that, but he wouldn't, if he's interviewed, he said he wouldn't say I was swearing my nuts off as if it was he was hanging his hat on it. Yeah. It was a terrific thing to do. I interviewed John McEnroe and I asked him about all that. And
his response was? His response, part of the game, maybe? Or
no, he said, no, he was quite contrite. I think he showed contrition. But I said, did your father ever say to you, you better... Yeah. And No, he was good. There was a few questions he wouldn't answer, like he was married to Tatum O'Neill, wasn't he, or someone?
I think so. Yep.
He didn't want to answer that. And I said, "Did you ever take recreational drugs when you played?" He said, "I don't wish to answer that either." Only because that had been written in an article. But so it's not the questions you ask; it's the answers you give. Now I'm just going to mention this. I'm just going to mention this. Usually someone when I mention this, but this is worth mentioning. Now Donald Trump was accused of selling or giving nuclear information to Anthony Pratt. You know who Anthony Pratt is?
I do.
He was Dick Pratt's son.
Yes.
Which was a complete... he might have been discussing various aspects of when he was in office, when he was the president, but that was just a trumped up. That was just a furphy. And they accused him of selling and giving nuclear secrets that the world could take advantage of. This is a country whose Secretary of Defence, Mark Milley, who admitted saying to the Chinese that if ever the United States were going to attack China, he would warn them. And they go on and on about Trump, who is the last bastion of hope for that country. You've got the retarded, and I say the word advisedly, Joe Biden, who is incapable of understanding anything where he is or what's going on in his country. They go from crisis to crisis. And if you want to talk about Hamas and Hezbollah, Iran, Palestine, Israel, Saudi Arabia, Ukraine, Russia, Angola,
Have you been to Israel?
Africa, France, the world is stuffed, and the greatest country that is stuffing it and doing nothing about it is that pathetic regime led by that moron, that dopey, tottering fool, Joe Biden, who is corrupt, dishonest, and the war in Israel and what's going on there is a blessing in disguise for Biden, because it takes off the front page the corruption that they're investigating with him taking bribes from all the countries and his son, and it's pushed him off the front pages of the papers.
You say a blessing in disguise. You're not talking about the people. I'm talking about the political
Biden can't
system.
believe his luck that he is not the focus of the attention, because he's being investigated from every corner, from the classified documents he kept in his garage next to his Corvette, the millions of dollars he's taken in bribes from and for kickbacks from several countries, and he can't, and that is his piece of luck that's going on. No, I'm not talking about.
Now, if you want to go back to Trump talking to Anthony Pratt, do you think Trump would have been boasting, because he says you can't believe how close we can get to the Russian submarines, and then Anthony Pratt's come back to Australia and told just about everyone. Like, isn't there some sort of responsibility from Pratt?
I'm told. Geez, here comes Phoebe. I'm told that it wasn't quite like that. But they make it like that.
Right.
Incidentally. This is just, I don't know why I say this, you've probably had this experience. Someone I know rang up an insurance company in office hours to ask for some advice about insurance, because they rang the number that was provided. An hour and 58 minutes later, this person hung up. Have you ever tried to ring and get advice from any public institution and you have to hang on for 2 hours, and then after
and then
a while
you get cut off, and then you get cut off accidentally?
No, you just hang up because no one gets back to you.
No one gets back to you.
So this is the world we live in.
And it's not as if you can drive down there and knock on the door and speak to someone face to face.
No, it's not, because they'll be speaking from the Philippines, the people taking the call. They would be. They would be. So now I've got a feeling the doc is not ringing in, because it's past the designated time, so it's going beautifully. This
It's going very well.
will we put a call into the doc? I'm not
We
sure.
we don't normally do that.
No, we
He might
don't
be
normally
busy.
do that.
He might have a private session.
All right. Well, we'll just put a call into the doc. What's his name? Fordham. We'll just have a go at this. Fordham. Just see how we go here. Because we like to be told if he's not going to come in, well, he may as well tell us. If he's not going to, I can't find his bloody name now. Ben, where is he? Ben Fordham. Here he is. If you could possibly just put this on, if I ring him, and we'll just see if he's going to ring. Oh, is would that come on? Where are the headphones? Christ, where are the headphones?
Just quickly giving him a heads
Where are
up.
the headphones? Give us that, please. Is that the mic?
Well,
headphones?
they're probably halfway across the room
Oh, there, man.
where they were last week.
Yeah, that's right. But they were thrown onto the
They
floor.
were thrown over there.
Hello?
Hey there, I'm not near the phone at the moment and I'm in no rush to listen to voicemail messages. I encourage you to not listen to voicemail messages too. Life is too short. Send a text message. If you
Is that
really
going
love the
through?
person you're getting
It
in
is.
contact with, you'll text them and they'll get back to you. That's the way it works. Be good, behave, talk to you soon. I love you. Bye-bye.
Okay. I don't know if that went... Did that go through?
Yep.
Well,
it did.
that was the doc who said he'd come on.
That was his voicemail.
That was his voicemail, unless he was just seeing that we were ringing
He's
and was
good.
doing that off the top of his head.
He's very good.
I'm going to take these off now. So that was the doc, and he left... so he said he'd ring in every fortnight. It was a fortnight since we've heard from him, isn't it?
It is a fortnight.
And I said, well, I'll contact you every fortnight. No need, he said. No need. He said, I have a standing engagement unless I tell you.
We
he
haven't
sort of-
upset him, have we? We haven't upset him.
Well, I don't know how we could have upset him. Maybe he's gone out in sympathy with people who are on holidays or whatever.
Maybe there's a new alliance.
He might
Yeah,
have run
there
Don
is.
by mistake.
Well, there we are. So, yeah. It's going well, isn't it?
It's going very
I
well.
don't know what we'll do. What we'll do is, have you got anything else you'd like to mention while we're on this?
Well, if anyone goes looking, it'll be up later on in the week on the website, the new polo shirts and the new wife beaters, Sam. We just got to...
Yeah.
Here we go, the doc.
Jesus, here's the dog. Here's Sue. Hello? Where are you? Hello?
Hello.
Yes, Doc.
Doc,
Hello.
can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
We just rang you, Doc.
I know. I'm sorry. I've been busy. I've just been organising a whole range of things and a lot of breaking news happening around the world. So I don't know that I'm able to have a longer chat
All
today,
right. Well, Doc, I just said that I didn't contact you because you said every fortnight you'd ring in unless, and I understand there's a lot of breaking news, and I appreciate you ringing in. We're one short here. There's we're not sure where the man that you manage and oversees mental capacity, where he is, but we think he's on furlough.
Oh, is Don not there?
Don is not there.
Well, I think I know why that is.
Why?
It's because of your extraordinary blow-up at him last week.
Yeah. Did you get the full picture of what that was about?
Oh, I was listening to the whole thing and I read all the headlines about it. But,
Yeah.
you know, the way to get him back is a full and frank apology from Sam on the podcast this week.
Yeah. So, Doc, so just let me put it in context. So, how long would you say that now that we're into this, how long would you say I've been asking our mutual friend to speak into the microphone, because we're only trying to give a product that people can hear properly rather than someone going in and out of cadence. So that was one.
Yeah, but just prior to your explosion, he was talking into the microphone because I could hear him.
Yes. So, but prior to that, he was had thrown the headphones. Now that we're talking about this, so I don't want to be maligned unnecessarily. He had thrown the headphones when his didn't work onto the floor. and they broke. So that, and I said, I looked at that, and then he dismantled the microphone he was talking into because he keeps touching it. It fell off its contact point onto the table, and he had to hold it like a beer can and speak into it. And then to get the quadrella after he wasn't speaking into the microphone, but you say he was, he started eating. And people say to me, it is disconcerting when you hear someone eating on, so that he got the quadrella, and that's when So you don't think
would you say, can I just ask a few questions just for a moment? Would you say
Please.
that you overreacted?
No. Well, what would
you
you
don't
like?
think you overreacted?
Well, what would you like me to do?
Well, you were screaming and ranting and raving
I
at him.
said after the fourth time he transgressed, I've asked him for many, many times, what would you have done? Just put up with it?
Well, I suppose when you've got a partner in a relationship, you've got to put up with their positives and their negatives. And he's got lots of positives, and he's got a few things that frustrate you, but you've just got to kind of push on through with them. I think that Sam, the reaction was way over the top. I mean, really, you absolutely lost your nana at him. You went crazy.
I did. So I'm
are you sorry?
So I'm asking you again. If you had someone that you worked with and they continually took no notice, only for not for taking notice of me, only for the sake of the podcast and it going out over to the listeners properly, and so that we have a reasonable product to promote. If someone did that to you on a continual basis, and then in the space of 5 minutes, Christ, you wouldn't believe who's walking in the door.
Oh,
you wouldn't believe it.
Hey, he's
just
here.
You cannot believe this. So, all right. So
I want to talk to him.
Right.
All right.
Righto. Well, we'll try and get some headphones. I don't know where the headphones are.
They're broken. They're broken.
That's exactly right. I'll tell you what I'm going to do.
He's broken the headphones. He's broken the microphone. He's got a packet of chips there.
Hang on a minute. We're getting the headphones. Where are they? Are they over there?
Might just have to hold off, Doc, for a little bit.
Righto. Well, now he's. So here you are. So here he is. He's walked in. Now. He's walked in.
Hang on, Sam. Just chill out for a moment. I'll be hosting the podcast just for the next few minutes until Don is seated.
Yep.
And then I would like to say something to Don. If you can let me know when Don is seated in front of a microphone with the headphones on.
So he's
and then I'll just make a few statements.
He's walked in and he's gone upstairs. He's completely bypassed this conversation.
Listen,
this is what we're dealing with.
Ivan.
Gotcha. Yep.
Can you please go and get Don and tell him that I'm on the line and I need to talk to him urgently, please? And I've got an announcement to make, and he needs to be part of it.
Go on.
All right.
Go on, Ivan. Take them off and go up and get him.
Give me a minute.
Okay, so recapping, everyone. For anyone listening to the You Cannot Be Serious podcast, we have a developing breaking news situation. Don Scott has arrived in the studio. He's upstairs at the moment. He's going to be brought downstairs, hopefully by Ivan. And then we're going to make an announcement on behalf of the whole podcast team to Don. Sam isn't across the full details of the announcement at this stage, but any moment now we'll be able to reveal all of the details to you, and hopefully it's going to resolve a situation which has troubled a lot of podcast listeners over the past 7 days. So we're standing by to talk to Don Scott, and momentarily we'll be able to share the news with Don. Sam, is he there? Is he back?
He's walked. People will think we're making this up.
I don't want the past tense. I want present tense. Where is he?
He has walked into the building and he's gone upstairs, completely bypassed the podcast. So Ivan's gone up to see if he'll plead with him to come down. How pathetic is this? How childish is Yes.
Sam, I need you to work with me here. When he appears, I don't want any negative commentary around Don. I just want you to say, Don, come and sit down. We want to talk.
Well,
here he comes.
Here he comes. Now he's coming.
Okay.
I'm going to describe this. He's walked over. He's deliberately not walking over to the microphone.
Excuse me. No negative commentary. Just say hi, Don.
Okay, well, hang on.
Say hello to him.
Just a minute. He's sitting down now, and he's going to put the headphones on.
Fantastic.
Just a minute, Doc. It's not going as...
Don't talk about the headphones.
All right, here he is.
Okay.
I've just picked
Hey,
them up
Don.
off the phone. I threw them last week, Doc, and they're buggered, but anyway, I hope they're working.
Don, I would
Yes.
like to share with you a statement. Can I read you a statement?
Go.
On behalf of Sam Newman and everyone associated with the You Cannot Be Serious podcast, Sam and the whole team would like to apologise to you absolutely for the appalling treatment that you were subjected to last week, and we hope we can move forward with the podcast today into the future and for many years to come. We repeat, a full apology from Sam and everyone at the You Cannot.
The problem is, since last week, I've been approached to write a book.
That's fine. We can promote the book on the podcast.
It's going to require a lot of research. And it's a bit of a follow-on from Dale Carnegie. He wrote 2 books in the late 60s, early 70s, How to Win Friends and Influence People, and how to succeed in business without really trying. The man's come up with the subject, but it's going to take a lot of research. It's how to don't burn
Don.
bridges, just demolish them.
Yeah, Don, what you've missed is prior to you sitting down, and thank you so much for sitting down, Sam's acknowledged that, look, in the heat of the moment last week, he was a bit over the top in the way that he spoke to you. Obviously, there's a few things that frustrate him about you, and I'm sure there are plenty of things that frustrate you about him when it comes to some of the idiosyncrasies and characteristics that you guys have as human beings. That's just human life. Your complex personalities. Sam's sorry about what happened last week, and we'd like to know whether you would please accept his apology.
I've just sat out. Okay. I'll think about it.
Okay? He said okay.
I'll think.
All right. Well, listen, boys,
Yep.
I want you guys to have a conversation now. I can't wait to hear the rest of this when I'm at home today, because I do have some serious kind of breaking news that I'm dealing with at the moment. But the take-home out of all of this is that everyone's happy again. There's been a full apology. It's been accepted by Don. He said the word okay. And Sam, I'll leave it over to you and Don to continue the rest of the podcast, and we'll all be back here in 2 weeks to do it all again.
Doc, thanks for joining in. I possibly might have you charged with perjury, but on the basis of this, thanks for ringing in, Doc, and we had plenty of things to ask you, but I understand you're a busy man. And
no worries.
All the best, Doc.
I'll talk to you in 2 weeks. Good on you, boys. Love you all, and you guys. I want you to both tell each
Shut
other
up,
something
Doc,
nice
please.
about each other. Okay, bye. Ciao.
And now, that is a complete fabrication and lie that, if you're listening to this, I haven't apologised for anything. And but moving on would probably be the only accurate statement that he made, the Doc made. And nice of you to come in.
Well, I owe you some money for a car, so there's the money for the car. So we've settled that.
What do you make of last week, Don? What do you make of last week?
Well, I just got my...
Could you believe that?
Oh.
That's all right. Just...
Well, go on, go off.
What do you make of that?
Go off.
What do you make of that last week, Don?
I've got nothing to make of it.
Okay, so...
All right, maybe just move on.
Me-
Just go. Let's go forward. How's that?
So me shouting at you, you don't think that was reasonable?
Well, you've done it all your life. I mean, you did it on the football field. I remember another instance where I was caddying for you at a golfing day, and the club came screaming down the fairway. So,
What's that got to you?
well, that's you.
Well,
that's
didn't,
you.
You didn't speak to any of your teammates when you were captain of Hawthorn for 2
No.
years. You didn't speak to any
You
of
do
them.
your research a little
No,
better
I've
than
been
that.
told.
You were told, but you were also around in those days, and I wasn't captain.
So when I ask you, Don, just ask you repeatedly about the things that might make this podcast worth listening to, and you continue to take no notice, what would you do? What would you do? Would I just sit there and cop it? Do I?
You do whatever you want to do.
Well, I did.
Okay, well, you do whatever you
Well, I
want to
did,
do.
and
I'm not
then-
here to tell you how to run your life.
No, but you get annoyed when I ask you to do things. You think
Oh, do I? Would you know I got annoyed about doing anything?
because you got up and took your bag and put
Well,
your
what's
tail
what's
between
the
your
point?
legs.
Steady down with your...
You put your tail between.
Steady down with what you're doing. What is the point of going off or trying to have a discussion with someone who's going off their brain?
You didn't
You
try.
do not talk to anybody, no matter whether it's on air, wherever in life, because they're not rational. So you walk away.
You didn't wish to have a conversation, Don,
There's
because
been no conversation.
you didn't wish to have a conversation because you deliberately or naively insist on not taking any notice of what might make this podcast worth listening to. You repeatedly
No, listen, I'm not getting into this. This is like a domestic.
Of course it
and
is.
nobody wins in a domestic.
Well,
and nobody wins in it. You can put your view as much as you
I
like,
did,
and
and
I'm not here to defend or whatever else.
I did put my view, and you insisted on not putting your view. I rang you
I'm
twice.
not, hey, listen, everybody's got a different personality. I'm not into conflict. And
You're not
that's-
into conflict.
That's exactly right.
So, getting up and walking out.
No, that's not conflict.
No, I
that's-
agree. That's just walking away. That's just trying to diffuse the situation.
I wonder why that wasn't trying to diffuse the situation. That was because, in the end,
Yeah, all right.
Might be the book
That's all
publisher.
right. We'll just let that one slide. That's no problems there. That's okay.
That's our sponsor.
He hasn't written the book yet.
No, that's work. That's okay.
Anyway, what's the...
If we,
Hey,
I
Don,
tell you what, we should be filming
Now,
this
these
one.
bis-
today.
are these
They're not
biscuits
yours.
for me?
They're mine.
Well,
You're
where
not
am
allowed
I?
to eat them.
I gave them away.
Oh,
you
shit.
didn't turn up. We ate them.
Oh, well, that's all I wanted. I've come in for these biscuits, Michael. Thank you very much. These are beautiful. They're the biscuits.
Tell me, Don, how's your friend in Israel?
Ah, good point. It's not... He won't come back. He won't come back. He won't come back. Yeah, shit, you've tweaked something here because he won't come back.
Have
And
you ever been
if
to
this does escalate, my friend, all they're waiting is it Hezbollah or who's the one up north?
Yeah, Hezbollah.
They've got between 150,000 to 200,000 rockets pointed at Israel. Now, if those people get involved, from what he's telling me, it could demolish Israel. And,
Have you been to Israel, Don?
No.
No.
And yeah, I've spoke to him each day, and he's doing all right. He's very, very, very busy, and I don't think he'll come home because of the situation.
so
No good.
seeing as you left early last week,
Oh no! Listen,
I might ask you a
no,
question.
No, listen.
Seeing as
you
you
want to
left-
talk to me?
I do.
I'll talk to you off air.
I
I'm
wanna-
not going
I wanna
to,
ask
but
you a
Michael
question.
asked a question which was a very
We've
relevant
already
and a
covered
very
it.
profound question.
we've already covered that.
Well, he's asked it.
Well, because he's trying to engage you. Seeing as you left early last week and came late today, why didn't you tell us you were going to come in?
Well, what you do is you pick up the phone.
Well, I picked it up twice last week to speak to you, and
you
said,
rang twice last week.
I spoke to you twice
Twice
last
last
week.
week.
That's what I said. I spoke to you twice last week, me picking the phone up, and you didn't wish to discuss anything. You just
I
said...
told you that's not my scene.
Well, then, so I did pick up the phone. Why didn't you say you were coming in? Because we've already done a segment because we didn't think you were coming.
That's fine. Well,
Well, why did you come in late?
I slept. It's called sleeping in.
Well, you've never slept in ever before.
Yes, but I've never trimmed 4 horses in
You've
one day.
Well, why didn't you
plus
ring
the
and
other
say you were
work,
going to be late?
Because normally I can get up at 6 o'clock.
No, but you didn't. You must have known when you slept in that you weren't going to be here on time. Why didn't you have the
Yeah,
courtesy
listen.
to ring people like us and say you were coming in? We just assumed you weren't coming. Why
that's
didn't you
fine.
let us know?
It's fine.
It's not fine.
Well, you
It's
get on
ignorant and it's rude.
Well, you.
And that's how I started shouting at you, because you were ignorant and rude last week.
I see. Well, that's fine.
Well, what do you mean that's fine?
That's your review. I'm not going to argue with you. Anyway, we've done that.
Are you off again?
Yep, I'm off. Because I've got to pick up.
Okay,
Pick up the steel cabinet.
So can I just get this from you, Don? Is this, so could we finally say, just before you go, could we finally say that you're not going to do the podcast anymore, and is that what's going to happen? Could you say that?
That's fine at the moment, no.
You're not going to do the podcast anymore. No. Well, this is history, Don. So this is.
Do we need to be finite about this?
No. Well, no. What we're going to do is we're going to say this has been a. This is not meritorious. This is breaking news. Don has now left the building, as Elvis has, and he's not going to do the podcast anymore. And the Doc Fordham. Said that I apologised. I did nothing of the sort and won't. And we're dealing with a man who is a friend of mine, and he will still be a friend of mine. But that is about as subjective and disconcerting for someone that you've known for a while to carry on like. So there we are. So we have got a guest coming in, and it'll be very nice to speak to our guest. And this is another show of disgraceful behaviour from someone who's acting like a child. And
all right, maybe we just leave it there.
It's just. No, it's good. It's good.
Anyway,
it is. Child, it's beyond belief that someone could wander in, carry on with all that crap, and walk out again.
I was trying to get out my Israeli joke, and he took off.
Probably not.
I was going to tell him I was in Israel.
What did he say about Israel when you asked him? What did he say? The bloke's not coming back. Well, there's breaking news. What's that mean? He's not coming back.
No,
Who's not coming back?
He welled up and then he's
come back in his wooden suit. But no. I was in Israel once, and I was in the what is it when you're over
the cassette and the canet I don't know what.
I don't know. I was watching the game show. They've got a great game show over there. It's called The Price Is Never Right.
You idiot! All right, so history.
All right, so
history today. Did Phoebe walked in too?
She did.
She's given us
She
the
filmed the segment.
People just walk in here. Did she? People just walk in here and use this as a stopping off point between going and doing things and not doing things and
picking up cabinets.
It's fantastic. Well, as we speak, Ivan, it's just you and I sit and look. Mick's gone.
Mick's gone. Phoebe, Phoebe's gone.
Doc's rung in and rung off.
I wonder if our guest will turn up.
Well, no, he'll turn up. We've got a bit of time to fill in till he turns up. Yeah, with pig's eyes that never look up. That is so. That man there. I don't wish to speak behind his back, but I'm just saying that man there doesn't want to have a conversation about anything. Doesn't believe that what he did might have been just not in the spirit of what this podcast is about. Didn't tell us he was coming in. Came in and then walked off again. It's fantastic. No, it's extraordinary. Left me some.
So he alluded to the point that he might have called you 2 times and you never answered.
No, he didn't call me at all. I rang him twice. Anyhow, why would we be? This is just a domestic dispute. That is just a pathetic way to conduct yourself. I don't care how many arguments you have with someone. If you can't sit there and face the person that you're speaking to and you've known for 50 years, that is really disconcerting. So anyhow, we're going to wind this up, and we'll come back with our special guest. So we can possibly say that this podcast is not going to be the same from now on, and it might be better, it might be worse, it might not go ahead. And we can have the Daily Mail. The Daily Mail seem to report on every single thing that I do, whether it be, it's never good, but I wonder what they'll say about this. And the Doc rang in, and I'm not sure, tongue-in-cheek, tried to get this an apology to me. I'm not apologising for nothing.
Would you
nothing
consider apologising, even though you feel you might not be wrong?
Never sell your soul, mate, just for an effect. So that's it. So we're going to. Here we go. Now, which one do I push? I've lost my train of thought here.